Then, so we got plenty of stuff going on today. Makes it stand out. Hand tight, and then once you get the hand circle, like you're rubbing something else special, if you know what I mean. And I loves it. Hook this bad boy back up. That was quite fitting. Floss out. That goes straight in the bin. Right, so where we're at, I've put it in. It fits perfectly. My delivery did turn up. It was a bulkhead to fit on the side of the box. Be the new one. Look absolutely wicked, sat there like that. All the active carbon. This pipe goes in here and runs all the way to the very bottom with a tube on the bottom. Job one complete. Stick of inches. At time of the month, cut my whole month's supply of filter floss, like I am the human run filter. So Tobe's still going. He's still cutting off all of my tags. Span these two around so it's easy for me to clip on and off, because I'm not going to... Right, so just as you can see what I've done here then. So the airline run. So there we go. Water comes through, it passes through, and because of the air in the box, but it's a lot more subtle. Hello guys, welcome back, James the Koi Whisperer. So today, coming up in this video, it's a proper long video. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit down, remember to like the video for me, subscribe to the channel, and then guaranteed you want to see this one because the new filter is built, up and running. Epic 2.0 is running. Thank you, mother for the rabbits. Enjoy the video, guys. Right then, so we got plenty of stuff going on today. One of the first jobs, filter floss turned up this morning. So a lot of you know I use this filter floss in my shower. I literally just cut it all into length. So I'll zip all that up, get it all into length, get it stored into the koi shed. I just recently made this myself. So I'll be fitting that one on my shed today because that one there is completely dried off. And well, it's looking absolutely stunning. That just putting that high gloss finish on it definitely makes it stand out. Media from Mountain Tree. Absolutely quality media. I was just going to add before I talk a bit more about it. This is the proper stuff. This is, you know, there's no cowboy stuff. This is the proper stuff. Each and every single bit that you buy, because there's a lot of people out there copying this media. There's a lot of companies out there I've read about or heard about that they've been copycatting it. And basically what Mountain Trees come up with is every single piece that you buy has got its own barcode number. You can download the app off Mountain Tree. You can download the app and you can check every single piece to make sure that it is a genuine piece of media. Absolutely quality bit of kit, I think. The way they've designed it with the spiral design, hose all the way through it, the surface area on that, ceramic, very, very porous. And well, from what I've read, for how light that is at the moment, when it's full of water, it's 80% more heavier. So it's crazy how porous that media actually is. So the surface area is going to be outstanding. But the plans behind that, well, basically to start with, every single piece that I've got, because mine comes directly from the source itself, and the company are in China. Every single piece has been wrapped individually so it didn't break on the transport. But just running through their book, that they actually make filter systems. I mean, some of the filter systems, it's like a base sort of design, but the way that they design it with a slope bottom with a drain flush out is absolutely a brilliant idea. How the actual system works by heating up your nitrate and your nitrite. If you don't know how, you know, the nitrogen cycle works, I'll run through that later on in the video. You need aerobic and anaerobic bacteria growing in your pond, and in your filter, should I say. And if you haven't got that, you'll never get a full cycle of the nitrogen cycle. But also coming up, I've got to change the cartridge blocks on my 3-stage Dechlorinator. I am using a big blue, but the reason why I still run this, because this is so cheap. This is £10 for all of that, and it generally lasts me about 2 months. Now I've got the big blue as well. I'm just thinking it would just be better if I just keep all of the systems going. And well, it just means that I take out a little bit more chlorine and a little bit more chloramine. That was the idea, whether if it does work or not, but that's what I'm trying. Very cheap they are, there's no point me trying to sell it. Got to flush out the box as well. Give that a flush out, water change. This filter box here is the one in question and the one that I've got to put a flush out to. So the idea behind what I'm going to do is a tank connector, which is due to turn up later on today. So hopefully I'll be able to get it all fitted and sorted and all in place. Get a load of the media in here, and then whatever media that I've got left what don't fit into there is going into the shower. And then eventually I'm going to be changing each section into the Lotus media. Can't change it all at once because I haven't got enough, and the main reason why I can't change it all at once is down to because I cannot lose all of my beneficial bacteria all in one hit, because that filter on its own would just send my pond into major problems if I just took out everything from my shower. So hope you can stick around, watch the video, because I got absolutely loads to do. Hallelujah. Right, first job in the shed. I need to tidy up my shed as well, but I'm looking for, not that. Has anyone else got this problem? You just put a nail in a shed to hook something and you end up hooking everything you got. But that's what I need, one of these bad boys. So what we're going to do with that is, let me get these knocked off. I'm going to replace them, put them in, and then show you how dirty, well, that one's the dirty one, but then show you why I change it every 2 months. Right, let's get the job done then. Ooh. I'll tell you what though, with all the fencing that I've done this week, I feels like an old man. My knees has been killing me, man. So all I do is give it one twist and then take it off with my hand. There's a couple of ways you can change these. Nearly got myself soaked before I start. But yeah, there's a couple of ways you can change them. I mean, when you look at that, I never look at the outside of it, how dirty it is on the outside of it, because this stays with water and then it gets sunlight, which creates algae anyway. What I look at is the inside of it. And that's crazy to think how dirty that really is. And that's coming straight off the mains. And us in the UK, we actually drink that water straight out the tap. Well, I do. I won't waste all of that. You can see all the sediment in there, but most of that's algae. I just pour that straight on into my plants. What I find with mine, I don't know if anyone else uses it, but the first stage doesn't come with, like these come with rubber bungs on the bottom of them, but the first stage doesn't. So don't know if it makes any difference. I took a rubber bung off one of mine and I just put it in there, and all I find that does, it just crimps to the top a little bit tighter, so you know the water's got to flow through all of it, not just the top section. Don't know if it makes any difference at all, but just something I do. So get all these opened up. Yeah, just make sure when you're going on that you're going on so you're not cross-threading anything. Hand tight, and then once you get the hand tight, it's just literally one turn to tight. Do exactly the same again. God. I tightened it up well. Just taking out that little bit more chlorine for how cheap they are. That's the only reason why I'm keeping it. And I only change it every 2 months, like I said. Yeah, one thing I do when I first hook this back up is I run the water for about 5 minutes just to clear out any of the carbon that may come through, because I don't want that going into the pond. And then change the third one. See if we got this one as tight. Go on. So either I'm getting weak or I over tighten these up, unless my body's just gone to shop because I've been hammering it this week, doing as much maintenance as possible. Get rid of that plant. That plant's definitely getting fed well today. I better spread it over a few more. The rain we've had here in the UK has been absolutely unbelievable, to be fair. So all the plants in the gardens had a decent bit of rain, like. I don't rely on this 3-stage cartridge anymore. I was finding I was still getting, especially when I did a chlorine test, even running this 3-stage through the Dechlorinator, when I checked with DP number 4 tablets, DPD number 4 tablets, my water was still slightly pink. Part of the reason why I added the big blue. Since I've added the big blue, I haven't had no chlorine whatsoever in my pond. So it was a big investment, but hopefully in the long run it will pay off. And if it keeps my fish happy, I don't really mind how much it costs me, because it's my hobby and I loves it. There's that job done. Job 1 complete. Right, so all I do, go back down beside my big blue, and where it runs through the big blue here, before it runs through this one, all I do, knock that one off, sit that on the floor, and I just run the water down into here into the soakaway. Basically, this is where I used to have my old pressure filter. There's basically 3 foot of gravel which I filled in the hole, and I just use that as my soakaway. So I'm going to run that tap now and clear out all the carbon in that 3 stage. Go over the tap. Don't run them on full bore, but run them on a decent pressure, and then as you can see, build up straight away. All you got to do, hold your hand on the top of them, get all of that air out until you start seeing it come from the top. Do that on all 3. As soon as you start seeing it come out the top, then you know that all the cartridge blocks are full up to the top. See, that one just started coming out. Same to this one. I do find when just by pushing them down don't work. You've got to push it and twist, like rub it in a circle, like you're rubbing something else special, if you know what I mean. Just on that special button. They likes it like that, see? So there we go. That one's running out now. The active carbon, which is in the end stage, and pretty much the reason why I'm doing that is just to blast it out, just so none of the carbon goes into the pond. Hook this bad boy back up, hose pipe fitting, straight on into there, and then it runs through another stage now, which is another cleaning stage, and then goes through all the active carbon. This pipe goes in here and runs all the way to the very bottom with a tube on the bottom, and then the water's got to siphon all the way up through all of that carbon and then return back out of here. And I just got set mine up there on a very, very slow trickle. So time to flush out the epic. All I do, turn it right down to roughly, just to keep it ticking over, 1%, only very slowly, and then literally flush him out, and all that water goes straight down the waste. And then turn it back on, let the filter start filling back up, strip out all of my mechanical stage, and leave all of the biological all in place. I use pond water to clean these. And it's literally simple. It's just cleaning it out and then spilling that round the plants real quickly. I know I'm cleaning them with pond water, but the reason why is because I'm getting that pond water out, because I'm doing a 10% of water change anyway. The hose pipe and wash it out with the hose, because there's nothing biological on this whatsoever that I want to keep. I mean, they'll be living on there, but it's not that I want to keep, because I bang it off too regular. It's just purely mechanical. Get rid of that, chuck them in your bucket, go in the house, put them back in the epic, winner chicken dinner. Hello! So yeah, basically all I'm going to do is just try something different today. So I've got a bit of this filter floss. I always use these mats to go down there. All I'm going to do, I've cut it a little bit different size, and I'm just going to see if it makes any difference whatsoever, is if I run a whole piece of filter floss down the inside. And the only reason why I'm doing this is I want to see how much, or where the water, where the most poo's coming from. I'm not going to do it so it completely covers the box. If it overflows or gets blocked, I'm going to be here, I'm on standby anyway, and I'm going to check it, you know, every night before I go to bed and every morning, and it only stays in there. It'll only stay in there 2 days anyway, but I just want to see how much that either catches or doesn't catch, or what it actually lets through. Just be interesting, worth a try. But I don't 2-second job, really. This little skimmer, Swim Skim 50. All I do, half a bucket of water, take my first layer out, my filter floss out, that goes straight in the bin. Give this one a bit of a wash. Same again, straight down into my soak away. Another bucket. Give it a double clean off. And all I do with this filter floss, 43mm thick, straight in half, so you get 2 uses out of it. Put one back in the shed. The first one goes in, and I just cut it to a rough size. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I just literally push that through there, ram it into place, and I like to cover all the sides. You can cut down through that side and down through that side. I don't think it makes any difference at all personally. Just make sure it's ran nice down tight so the skimmer doesn't pop up. Push that one down, a little bit extra out your pond, and you do this every day. Every morning before I go work, or as soon as I get home from work. No different than walking a dog. Another job done. Moving on to the actual filter itself, what I'm doing to this filter. I've got that filter floss in there just to see how much more that stops before it comes into here. But I am fitting a flush out system on it. Just working out the best way of doing it with the circumstances of how I've got it in place at the moment. So I've got my ball valve there, which I had spare left over when I bought a load of pipe fittings off eBay, nice and cheap. I've got my 2 new 90s. What the plan is that I've got another bulkhead turning up from Eco Filtration. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is fitting underneath. I don't know, to be fair, I'm just working out which is the best way of me doing it for the easiest way of me to fix it in place and to maintain it. So the idea about having the flush out on it is that I'm going to have these running all the way up through both the sides. I've got a 90 adapter coming from Eco Filtration as well, which that's where I get all of my pipe fittings and bulkheads and stuff like that, any pond supply stuff. Eco Filtration's definitely a decent company to check out. They're one of the best customer services that I've ever had to deal with, so definitely go check them out. I really highly recommend them, and the products are brilliant for any DIY stuff that you want to make yourself. But basically what I'm going to be doing is fitting a 90 on the end of that to raise up the water level slightly, because I just want to raise the water level to the very tip. From there, I want to load all of them across, and I just want to raise it up a slight bit. So a 90 onto there, so the water will be skimming off the top, will be absolutely perfect. But what I'm weighing up is what the best way to go about it is, ideally, bulkhead fitted on the bottom, same as what I've got there, to use as a flush out system. Underneath this pipework means I have to move the filter out, dig out a trench, make a little slide in the mud and gravel that I've got there, basically just for the pipe to sit in. Fit one of these 90s underneath the box, like that. Time the pipe fitting, I have to measure up for that as well. And then I need to come through the wall, move this. I've got a wall down there, which that's where my flush my epic. Well, I'm planning to get the other one right down here, but the downside about it, because I'm leaning out my window, that one there is very comfortable for me just to lean and twist. Because this is at a lower level, obviously means that the bulkhead itself is going to be at a lower level. So I don't want to be at maximum reach. I mean, I will only have to turn it once a week or once every 2 weeks. It won't be very often, but it's just literally all of that muck and sediment that gets built up in here in a very short period of time. I just want to make sure it all flushes right out. I mean, this is in there just for the fact of I just took it out of there because I've got the filter floss there. So I didn't want to let it dry out when I can just keep it there. And if there is any beneficial bacteria on there, it just stays alive. There probably isn't anything on there, but I've just put it in there for now. But yeah, that's the plan, that's the idea, and that's what I've got to get to. But it all depends if those fittings actually turn up, because I don't want to take it all out. I mean, I can keep everything running. All I need to do, because the way I designed this was set it up, was literally just turn down the flow just down another 5%, and then water will stop flowing out of this pipe. So it will just drop down slightly, and then I can just open up. I've got another ball valve down there which runs to my K1 system that I've got over there, which is all DIY, all stuff I've made myself, and then we'll go from there. But it's just working out the best way of doing it. But if the pipe fittings don't turn out today, the wife's going nuts, so I might just open up all of these and just get them all in there, just so they start doing what they need to do, because there's no point in being here until I get that fitted. It's only the matter of taking them out and doing it again, but it depends if I get that fitting to get that job done. But yeah, we'll get it sorted. You know me, I am the coy whisperer, show no mercy, as they say. But yeah, water change is going on, so everything's a win-win. Happy days. And let's well, I think I best just get this sign on my shed a minute. I think that's a job I need to do. Whack the sign on the shed, tidy up the shed, because I got stuff out everywhere. Rubbish is starting to build up. I always use a bucket for me rubbish during the day, and then give the shed a bit of a tidy up, get everything sorted out. Time for a bit of the old upgrade. I used to have the old one on there, but this will be the new one. Look absolutely wicked, sat there like that. And I'm literally just going to sit it there like that, and it will, I reckon it will look the absolute hammer, to be fair. Just give it a bit of a measure up. So you've got to love a stick of inches. But the ideal thing is, in the winter, because they're magnetic, I can just pop them off, or pop them on when I have people round. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, to be fair. I'm happy with that. What do you reckon? The koi shed. And then we open the door. Happy days. Not bad for an hour's bit of work. Hey Tobe, fancy doing a job? Well, basically, mate, come on out. Just got out of bed, or what? Yeah, basically, Tobe, if you don't mind, unwrap all of these and then chuck all the rubbish straight into there. Will be absolutely fantastic. Can you do that for your dad?
Yeah, sure. Dad, I've got a quick question. What do these actually do, though?
Oh, what the media blocks do?
Yeah.
Basically, what happens, Tobe, is that they collect all of the beneficial bacteria, and what it does, it gives your beneficial bacteria a home to live, and that will make your water nice and clear. I can explain to you more later after I've done the video, and I'll explain to the people on the video what it actually does. But the idea of it is a home for your beneficial bacteria to live and thrive and survive.
Right, thanks, Dad. That's good information.
Right then, so that time of the month, cut my whole month's supply of filter floss. I buy it off eBay. I cut it in my conservatory because it's simple for me to do. I literally see my tiles are all 12 inches square. I literally pull my filter floss along the tiles, and I know that in my shower, I designed the shower that I've got over there, that I wanted it exactly 700 long, for the pure fact of this filter floss is 700 long. The next thing I do is use the tiles, because that's 12 inches long, and that there's exactly the same width of what the top of my shower is. So I just think it works an absolute treat, and I just get it all cut once a month. I buy a 5 metre reel of it, and I love the stuff. It's basically like I am the human drum filter, but I enjoy doing it. And to me, if I didn't have to go out with my pond every day, and if I didn't have to go out and feed them every day, and if I didn't have to clean anything or do anything, to me, I think that's part of my hobby, why I enjoy it. I'm not saying that I love cleaning. What I'm saying is that it's part of the hobby that I enjoy. So that's why I do it this way, and that's why I haven't bought a drum filter. I'm going to get all these cut, and I'll be back with you in a bit. So, like I do every single month, something a little bit different this month, because I've cut some for the Epic filter just to try. So basically what I do, I've got all of my sheets for my shower filter. These here I can split down in half if I want, but I do like using them whole with my Mediclay in half during the normal week. These ones here for my skimmer. These here are all split in half, so it's one sheet. You get 6 bits out of one sheet. Epic, I've cut them to the size. Basically, this will fit in between the Epic filter that I showed you a minute ago. And I'm just playing around with that. This is not something that I'm going to keep doing. It's just literally just an idea to see how I get on. But there we go. That's that all cut. Easy to do, less than 10 minutes. And that's me sorted for the month. Happy days. So, there's me cut all my filter floss. And the boys still going flat out.
They do packing.
They're well packed. So yeah, at the moment it has come from China. We have found one that's slightly cracked. It's not a problem, because what we're going to do with that one, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, and it won't affect the way it works. These ones here, any that's broke is going to go into my shower. Not a problem, not one problem at all. Or I can keep it in its mesh bag, that you can keep it in these bags and you just got more surface area again. But that's the plan with that. And we're going to get all of these opened up, but I want to make sure I've got all the stand-up ones, as many as possible, to get over into that filter box. Right, so a few little upgrades to the actual little Epic 2.0. Basically, I had to look around and see what I had in the shed. But now I've basically, ideally I just want a 90 on there, but I've pinched one of the connections off of my retrofit bottom drain just to get the 90, and what that's allowed me to do, sorry about the light here guys, but yeah, what that's allowed me to do is just bring up that water level. I don't know if you can see, so now it's literally, if I just tap that, they're just under the water level by around 5 mil, which just done the tracking search. I'm not sure if the fitting will turn up for this today, for that bulkhead, but it'll give me a bit of time to work out what's going on. And I'm still going to get all the media in there anyway and work out how much goes in this, what's needed, and whatever's left going into that shower. There he is, look, he's still going. He's saying, Dad, why the hell have they put so much bloody bubble wrap on it?
It's like 3 layers of bubble wrap.
Look, we got more bubble wrap than what we have media in that box. Happy days. Right, it's a bit windy out here, but I've got a crazy idea. So basically, I've got this product. It's an aerated air stone sort of thing from Eco Filtration. It normally comes in a circle dome, but what I'm going to do, I've stripped it down. It's got these weighted blocks on the bottom of it, so they'll be perfect for exactly what I'm after. I'm going to sit these up through the centre of my box. That's the plan. And then sit these pipes running down through. I might have to trim it down. It's easy to do. I'll just trim it down to the perfect size I need and then cut it and rebung it. But this material, the way it lets out the air, is perfect for the biological side of the filtering that I want to do. Plus, if I decide to have no air in this filter box, which that's the plan, that this here will be a decent way of me cleaning the filter by bubbling it up, and then literally after it's bubbled I can just flush it straight out and get rid of all the waste. That's the plan. That's what I'm going to do. It was always in the pipeline, but I've just got to work out the best way of me doing it to get as much media in the box as possible. So just before we go any further, I'm just literally popping these Lotus blocks, media blocks, into the filter box, working out how many I can get in, to then I can work out where I need to fit the air stone line that I'm going to fit into it as well. And just literally having a play, see what happens. I know I'm going to have to take it all out to drill the hole into the box. I'm thinking about putting the flush this side so it's easy for me to do, but we're just going to weigh it up, see how it goes, and well, let's just get them in the box and see how many I can actually fit in the box to start with. So yeah, just filling them up, but check this out. I'm not cleaning them, not worried about that, but watch this when it goes in. See all the air come out of it? That only tells you one thing, that the surface area on that one is absolutely incredible. But the weight difference is crazy, man. You can literally tell the weight difference. What I'll do, I'll weigh one on a scale to show you the weight of a dry one, and I'll show you the weight of how much heavier, how much porous these actually are. It's going to be absolutely outstanding for my beneficial bacteria. It's going to be the absolute hammer. And this box is cost hardly anything to make, and it's going to be, what's it going to be, boy?
Wicked.
Right then, so all I've done here, I've basically unscrewed these out of the weighted suctions, span these two around so it's easy for me to clip on and off, because I'm not going to be using the middle section, and I'm just going to be sitting these inside of there and running them all the way up through and then putting my airline in. So I'll get that done now and show you what it looks like in a minute. well, that's the plan. It might change, but I just like playing, see how it works, and seeing if I can come up with something by using something that I've got at home already. So let's have a go and see how it turns out. Right then, before I go any further, because I'm just ploughing on into it, I thought I'd give you a bit of an update, because I'm just got my head into it and I forget to get the film back out. But basically what I've done, I've measured this pipe to the exact size that I need. That there's going to sit in the inside of this box. Well, the pipe was a bit long, but it come with a bung on one side. So all I've done is just trim down the side. I've got the bung out, and all I'm going to do with the bung is, I won't even need to glue this because it's such a tight pipe. I'm literally just going to ram that all the way in there. Let me get it done, and then I'll show you what it's like. But I just thought I'd show you, if you need anything like this, or you're changing or making a filter, there's nothing wrong with cutting down a bit of pipe to make it suit your filter box or anything like that. You can just please yourself and, you know, make it how you want it. But the good thing about it, the parts from Ecofiltration are absolute quality. The way it's all made, and literally you can trim it and shape it. I mean, I could take out that middle block and then I've got 3 spare blocks if I want, because basically they all come as individual sections, and you can literally just slot them out and just have the 2 running through the middle. But the reason why I've kept the spacer there, for the pure fact, if I didn't want to, if you bend this pipe too much, you can go a fair way, but I didn't want to go any further than that and then get that creak in it, because then it will stop the airflow and the air will only run down one side, and I want the air to run down both sides. So that's why I've kept the spacer in there, just to make sure the pipe stays, well, as best as possible. So let's get this in there and have a look, see what it looks like. I have took out the K1 connector that was in there. It's not a problem. I've took it out, so it's just flowing through straight for a bulkhead, but as it hits there, it's just going to spread along the bottom of the box, and then I can either think of 2 options. I can either run air in this box all the time if I want to, but the idea of this box and this here is a cleaning system, so when I bubble the box up, I can flush out everything. So I don't want air running in this filter all the time, because this filter will do a different job, and I'll explain that later down the lines, because you've got to have different types of filtration to get a full nitrogen cycle. Right, so where we're at, I've put it in, it fits perfectly. Just a bit concerned about how this pipe was fitting in with this connection on the end. Nothing wrong with it, I just want the box to come straight up. So what I'm going to do is fit a 90 on it. I've got a mate who works for a brewery and he fits beer lines, so he got me these, got me a couple bits for me, because I knew I might need them. He just got me a couple sizes of, and he said, oh, anything else you need, he said, give me a shout. He gave me a few little Jubilee clips and things like that. And well, basically what I'm going to do here, 2 different sizes. That's for me airline, that's for the pipe that I've got here. This one's going to go into there. I'm going to force that into there, and what that will allow that box to do, instead of that pipe bending up, it's just going to come straight up, and then I'll fit the airline so it comes straight out the box, either behind the box or wherever. But this is a job that I need to do to get it in place, and it will just sit perfectly. So I'll get that done now, and I'll show you what it's like in a bit. Right, so just as you can see what I've done here then, so the airline runs through here. This one here's got plenty of movement, then it bolts on into there, it runs up through the strip. The wife's doing the hoovering, so you have to put up with that, but then it comes down through here, and then it stops at the bung, and that there I've made it so it will fit perfectly up through there. So let's get it in there and let's have a look, see what it looks like. Right, so the airline's in. Next stage that I'm at, I do a nice little tidy job of fitting one of these to the side for the airline to come out. Downside about that, because I've raised the water level up, I haven't got enough room there now to do that. Well, there is, but it's going to be super tight, and I'm not taking that risk because I've hired it up to the height of these media blocks, because when I've done the measurements I was, you know, 5 mil out as such. But that being said, I'm not too worried about it. Well, there's me thinking that I got 1 day of this week where I'm on holiday without no bloody rain. Well, guess what? Just at the retreat, everything had to come in super quickly. But the filter box in question is pretty much finished. I got all the pipe work in round the back, fitted the airline in round the back, had to get in the pond with the chest waders on, but because of the downpour, I pretty much was getting soaking wet right through, so well, I didn't get the camera out there, but that's as straightforward as I just jumped in the pond, fitted the airline, and then ran that to where my air pump is. But as soon as it stops, I'll show you what's going on in a second. So, we're all ready to rock and roll. The rain has stopped, so I'm going to show you what I've done. Basically, not there, not there, not that one, but that one. So I've put a little hole in it now, easy for me to get to. That one sits in there. I cut a little notch in the corner of that, so that goes up tight, airline comes out. Eventually, I'm going to get another one of those 90s to go on there to tidy it up, and then 90 down running it out, so I haven't got that air line going up. It's not a problem. Next time you see it, it will be perfect. But straightforward, finger in, lift it out if I ever need to dismantle it. Airline's in, tidy job, runs all the way up through, curls round at the bottom, and then runs all the way down again to the bottom of the base. I'm still going to put the media lied the opposite way down through the middle, because I've still got quite a bit left. I've still got a little bit left to go in the shower as well. Basically, I had 30 pieces, so in this box you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 either side, 18 in total in there at the moment. I'm just going to go and turn the air on and show you how good it is actually working. So let me show you what it's like, and then I'll fill it with media and show you what it's like with that as well. So there we go. Complete even spread of oxygen throughout the whole entire box, front and back, running up through every single piece of media in that box. Will work absolutely outstanding, 10 times better than what that will work. As the water comes through, it passes through, and because of the air in the box hitting the water to start with, it's constantly going to stir up any muck and sediment which lays in the box. But you can use it this way round, but I've got the air in the box for a different reason, so I'll explain that in a minute. But the reason why I've got the air in the box is for a different reason, because I'm not planning to run the air in this box 24/7. The only reason why I've got air in there at the moment it will work absolutely perfect as an aerobic bacteria, but I don't want that. I want anaerobic bacteria. So only reason why I've got air in there is for when I get my tank connector, which is due up, which is the next job, but I don't think it's going to be coming today. It might come tomorrow, so I might have to do it in another video. I'm going to use that bulkhead, fit it to the side of the box here, bring the flush out, and then tap the box, because I keep weighing up trying to get it down here, but for the height, the drop and everything else, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to fit it to the side of the box and then have the tap on the side flushing out to waste. And the only reason why the air is in there is so that I can literally boil up the box, and then all of the sediment gets all mixed up and then flush out the whole box. And I'm not worried about getting every last bit out. As long as it gets 95% of it out, it will do exactly the job that I want it to do. But what do you reckon, guys? For a little DIY job, doing it yourself, this filter will work better than most filters that you can buy. I mean, not mentioning any names or anything, but this whole filter with the media and everything in there, you can build yourself for less than 200 quid. So, and that there is outstanding as well. Not like, you know, some of the other filters on the market, but for less than 200 quid, you could build this yourself, and you'll get 10 times better results as well with water quality. So I'm over the moon about that. It's turned out, or it's turning out how I planned it. And little things like this, I always see the finished product in my head before I try explaining it. So let me chuck all of the media in there, and then I'll show you what it looks like with that as well. Right then, so that's all of the media in there. You can see I've got an extra 6 pieces of media in there now, running lengthways. I could stand them upright and get them in between the airline, but I just want to play around, see what this works like with the water running through, not just running up, but I want to see what it works like running through as well. I mean, I'm really happy with it, and like I said, for cleaning side of things, I can literally put it on a boil. What I've done at the moment, because it's running on the same air pump, so let me just show you what I've done a minute. Basically, I've run my K1 moving bed over here. You just have to bear with me a second. So I've nicked a bit of air off of that for a second, but look how well matured that media is in there. Absolutely spotless clean. This is a self-cleaning K1 moving bed system in here as well, so absolutely quality. But you will see the difference when I shut down the air from there, and you'll see the difference how much more air gets pumped into here. Love, can you turn the tap off now? So you can see that how much more aggressive those bubbles are rapiding up through all of it. It probably doesn't show it too well on camera, but I can definitely see the difference. See the difference now? It's a lot more subtle, just coming up through. There's still a lot, but it's a lot more subtle by me taking off of that to that. So when I completely turn off that and I just want to boil this up, I'll just boil it up, flush out the whole system, and then, you know, fire it back up. But I don't really want to be playing around with it too much once it's set up. It will hold sediment at the bottom, and it will hold a bit of fish poo, but some of that, you need fish poo in a filter to make, obviously, your biological side of things, make everything grow and develop. You don't want it building up loads and loads and loads, but what I'm going to do as well is slightly angle the box, only running off about a 1 or 2 mil drop, but when I flush out, what will happen is all of that water will come out with all of the sediment as well. So that's the plan, that's the idea. I got the ball valve down there waiting for it. I got the 90s waiting for it. I got a hell of a size drill bit there. I don't know why I got that on me drill, but we'll just make do with that. Basically, before this video ends, my delivery did turn up the following day. Massive thank you to Eco Filtration, quality service. I mean, I ordered the parts the day before, and the following day, the next day, they turned up. So anybody needs any plumbing parts or anything to make your own DIY filters, I highly recommend Eco Filtration. Quality service, quality parts, and well, the service is great. So that being said, basically what I got was a bolt head to fit on the side of the box. I've got that bolt head as low down to the box as I possibly can. There's about a 2 mil gap underneath the bottom of the bolt head, but that's as far down as I could get it pretty much because of the way the boxes are welded. I was dealing with, I've got it filled up now, and I have lost a little bit of footage, guys, when I was doing this because it started to rain. So basically there's a little lip there where it's welded, so I'm just above the lip on the very bottom of that, which is drawn down to there. I had to make a frame up, so all I did was use a bit of 3B2, made a frame up, and what that allowed me to do was just raise up the box just so I could get that angle to flush it out. The actual flush out system itself runs all the way down here on a slight angle, slight little runoff, roughly around 10 mil runoff, and that runs all the way around the back still on 10 mil runoff, and then from there to the back, comes out of the back of there, still running off on a 10 mil runoff. I had to notch a little hole out of the wall. Pretty much I had to cut a load of footage out because there was a bit of me cursing. I was stuck in behind the back of there, and there was a bit of F's and C's and everything going on. But I got there in the end, and then basically that pipe there runs on a bit of flexi pipe from the end of there, 1.5 inches, and that runs all the way down, right the way down to the very back where my drain is down to waste. So I literally, to clean this box now, all I do, I literally just turn that and it will flush out the entire system. But what I did, don't know if you can see, you probably won't be able to notice, but the actual box itself, I've ran back on a 5 to 10 mil slope runoff, and you can see that by my water level. So I've gone to maximum, but as you go up through the box, you can see that the water level at the top of the box, when I slide this one back, move me fish down a minute, you can see at the top of the box, the water's nowhere near the top. That's just skimming off of a pipe which is returning back to the pond. The reason behind that, because I thought any sediment and any poo will get left in this filter over time will gradually work its way back on the slope. That's the idea. I'm just going to play, see how it works, and see how things turn out. But one thing I was going to add as well, which I might change over time, is the actual air stone that I've got in there sits off the bottom roughly around 20 mil, I would have said, 25 mil. Well, what I'm thinking about doing was having the whole bottom of it completely off the bottom and sitting all of these in there that way round. So any sediment and poo will sit directly on the bottom and it won't get stuck in between these being upright. But I'm just going to play to see how things turn out. But, you know, you've got to have a play around with these things and you've got to see what works and see what doesn't work. And if improvements need to be made, then improvements will be made. If the box needs to be changed for a bigger box, or I might even design one. Now I've got, it's all prototype to start with. Now I've got the idea of how I want it to work and how I want it to run it off of that system. It's only playing around with a bit of material. I've got all the pipe fittings that I need, so it's only the matter of unscrewing it all. And if I want to change anything, it can be changed. But I'm happy with how it is, to be fair. I'm really happy with how it is. The system to flush out. And I'm only going to be flushing this out once every 2 weeks. Maybe once a week if needed. It all depends how much sediment gets built up in there. But with the air flowing, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the air going yet or not. Or just not have the air going. Because I do want 2 types of different filters, to be fair. I want one with air and one without air. And I just want to play and just test. And that's what I like doing. So I'm more than happy how things turned out. I'm just going to nip down my hardware store. I'm going to get 1 bag of gravel and pretty much spread the bag of gravel around the bottom just to bring it up, hide a bit of the pipe work here because it's only gravel. I'm not really worried about it. And to be fair, I'm not really even worried about seeing the pipe work there. But if I just fill in a little bit, level it out a little bit, it'll just tidy it up, freshen it up. And well, that's what I'm going to do anyway. For £2 a bag of gravel, chuck it in there and see how we get on. If I don't like it, I can always take it out. But all the fish doing absolutely fantastic. Water quality is absolutely amazing. I have noticed the new one, he or she, there she goes, just did a little flick again then. I haven't seen any of my fish do it yet, so it could be something to do with my water that fish ain't used to, or it could be parasite related. There's several things going on. I am just keeping an eye just to see how things go. I'm not going to get a fish out to scrape because she is the only one that I've seen do it occasionally. And I have to feed as well, so it could be the food that I'm feeding. She's not used to it. She don't like it in her gills. There could be a number of things, but I'm literally just going to keep an eye, see how things go, and take it from there, to be fair. But on that note, happy ponding, and thank your mother for the rabbits.